you can't get people who are not accredited to invest. But I think now there is some sort of way.
Yeah, reg crowdfunding.
Yeah, that there's a crowdfunding regulation where you can get money in now, but I don't know.
Well, crowdfunding is different because crowdfunding you don't usually dole out any equity, right?
No, I
yes,
think
you do. Yeah, with
reg
crowdfunding, you can get up to $5 million from non-accredited investors. That's their response to the crypto stuff for the most part.
So that might be something you might want to. Unironically, would you ever do this DGG in a box thing and get money from your audience to do it? Or
no,
is that
that's
too much
fucking
pressure?
cringe. Nothing is more cringe to me than when wealthy people try to tap poor people for investments in their business.
Well, no, the idea is that you could create a company that is worth something and you know, have them have a positive investment. Like, you're not doing this to
Or you
milk
can do
them.
like most people and just milk them. Just get a $500 million valuation by selling them 1% of a low
No, I mean, you could
valuation
be fair. You could say, hey, listen, you guys know what I'm building. You know what my website is. I want to offer that to more people. Here's my business plan to, you know, make a lot of money. And, you know, I think this thing is worth $1 million. So if you know, I'm trying to raise 500K, so you guys will own half of the company. If you put I think that's fair. But you wouldn't do
Sure,
it.
you can do it in fair and unfair ways, and most of what I've seen coming through reg crowdfunding has just been a way to milk retail, but
True.
It's neither here nor there.
You wouldn't have to milk them, though, Steve.
Oh, yeah, you don't have to. Yeah, sure.
But it sounds like you would want to milk them.
Me? No.
Well, that's what most people do. They just want to make as much
If I would
money
do
as
that, we would just
possible,
start
and then
DGG
sell
coin,
them.
dude.
True, yeah. You should do Pepe coin, Yi coin, and DGG coin.
True. And the price, they could war with each other.
Yeah. So whenever Pepe wins, they get awarded Yi tokens to dump into the market to crash the price of them. So yeah, it'd be a giant Ponzi scheme all in one.
Well, actually, that's a good thing someone brought up. You want to build a fucking media company, and that's really expensive. Are you against the idea of having equity holders in that media company? Where maybe you have 30% owned by, you know, your chatters and other investors and things like that? Would you never do that?
I have no idea. It would depend on the cost of everything and how it's structured.
Well, I mean, let's say that today someone's like, hey, you want to do a media company? I'll give you $1 million, but I want 30%. How would you react to that if I just told you that today?
Probably not.
Really? You wouldn't take $1 million for 30%?
30% equity in a company that I could build? No, fuck no. That's huge. I'm getting fucked. If it becomes anything, I'm like, that person just fucking struck gold.
Wow.
He's
That's
a gambler's fallacy.
Super interesting.
Wait, hold on. No, if I were to build a media company and it would be successful,
Well, that's the key.
and I've given away 1/3 of the 30% equity for $1 million?
Oh my
so
God.
you don't even know if it's going to be successful, one. And two, you're not putting your own capital at risk for it.
Yeah, I'm shocked that you're this, like, I would never,
It would
I'm
never
amazed.
fail.
Yeah, no, I would never do this. No, not even. This sounds like a fucking Dragon's Den fucking finance
Oh
rate
my God,
segment.
you're actually delusional.
1/3. No, you would never do this. I know you wouldn't. No
This is
shot.
a $3 million valuation for a company that hasn't got a single click on it.
That has nothing. Has nothing.
It's
You
backed
wouldn't
up
take
by an incredibly large content creator that drives over like 15 million views like a month for the past 3 months to his YouTube page. I'm not selling a fucking media company 1/3 of it for $1 million preemptively. That sounds like the dumbest thing in the world. If that company's
Well, sure,
successful,
how much
like the
would you
company
sell
easily
this?
has the potential to like be worth like what, like 8 figures, like theoretically in a relatively short amount of time, in less than like 5 years, maybe not 5, probably less than 10 years. Why
Yeah,
would you
what's
give
the
away $1
burnout rate
million
of all these
for
media
30? Wait, what?
I mean, what's the burnout rate on all these companies? And
The burnout
are
rate
you
is
saying
probably
you won't
high,
put
but
any
I don't
money
know if I would need $1 million investment right off the bat to get a company like that off the ground. Like, if I didn't want to fund it myself and I needed some capital to get things started, I imagine like less than $250,000 would be plenty to do whatever I would need to do. And I would either self-fund that or find somebody that doesn't want to rate me for 30% equity in a fucking company for $1 million. Like, what would $1 million help me off the bat? Like, what, hire out a whole bunch of talent and watch everything crash and burn because I tried to scale up way too quickly? Like, no.
So the logic
Or
is
I would just
that-
get a personal loan for $1 million?
The logic, first off, I completely disagree with you. But the logic here is that your $1 million immediately makes your company worth at least $1 million on day one. And also the velocity that you would have with that money would make it that in 10 years, your company, instead of being worth 8 million, maybe, might be worth 80 million because
Okay,
you're able
wait,
to...
hold on. Firstly, it doesn't make my company worth 1 million immediately. I don't know why you think that.
Yeah, 100%.
There's $1 million in assets.
Assuming I don't spend any of the money? What?
On day one, the company is worth $1 million.
Okay, you are technically correct, Dan, that if somebody loans a company $1 million and they stick that money in the bank and don't spend it, the company is indeed worth $1 million. But I
don't
would
know why you're being very. This is how it's done. That's
No,
the valuation
no.
of the company.
That's not how it's done. Hold
Bet
on.
me money. Bet me money. Any amount.
No, what's not how it's done is...
you
No,
have
shut the
to
fuck
place
up!
with
Oh my
me.
god! You guys are both tricking me with the most technically correct but most retarded arguments I've ever heard in my entire life. If you're loaning a company money, the goal is not to put the money in a fucking bank account for the valuation of the company. The goal is to take that money and
it's not
spend
a
it on
goal.
something. And if I take that money and I spend it on building a website, on hiring talent, on paying for fucking shows and shit, then I don't have assets to show for the fucking money that I spent. The goal is to create some revenue generating aspect of the business that will be worth money in the future. So yes, if you loan me $1 million and I stick it in the bank immediately, then yes, technically the company's worth $1 million immediately, but that money's going to be
not a
spent
loan.
really fast because that's the point of getting the fucking investment.
No, it's not a loan. You just have the $1 million.
What do you do with the $1 million, Rage Pope?
You spend it.
Yes,
You're no
that's the
longer-
point, and then you no longer have the money.
It's not a loan. It's not a debt on your books. It's $1 million of cash to do whatever the fuck you want. It's not like, oh shit, when I get this money back, I need to make sure I pay back my capital investor $1 million.
If let's say that I get $1 million investment in my company, and then I
Yes.
take that $1 million and I spend $1 million for Lav to produce one live stream to talk about whether or not she's going to do OnlyFans again, and then what is my company worth the day after?
$0.
Thank you. That's what I'm trying to say.
Where the IP is. But if it was a loan, then your company would be worth negative $1 million because you still owe that guy $1 million, and there's a fundamental difference.
Yeah, of course there's a fundamental difference, but like I would just because you loan a company some amount of money doesn't mean that it automatically has that valuation for a period of time. Because if you start spending that money, obviously the assets of the company are going to change.
Well, yeah, but hopefully you're generating IP worth equal to or greater than the amount of money that you're spending.
Hopefully,
on
yeah, of
generating that
course.
IP by hiring people.
Okay.
Yes.
So
True.
that's kind of the logic. The idea is that if I'm investing in your company, first off, I'm not loaning you $1 million. I'm giving you $1 million. And then the assumption is that you're going to take that $1 million
And make more money with it. Yeah, of course.
No, well, not make more money, but make the asset that I've given you worth more than $1 million. So that's why the valuation bar gets set at $1 million. I've given you this. And
Yeah,
you're
but
gonna
we're
turn
not
it into
talking
more.
like real estate here. The assets are a lot less tangible, right? You're talking about a media company. We're talking intellectual property. I could take $1 million and spend that and create a website that is only worth $100,000. That might be the case at the end of it,
I
right?
understand,
Yes, yeah,
but you can only go off of guidelines of, for instance, off the IRS, right? Like, what are they going to value your company at the end of the day? Once I invest that $1 million into you, regardless if it's a failure or a success, until your next round of financing, the valuation of your company is going to be $1 million because I've invested $1 million into you. Obviously, the value of your company is going to be based on the success because the valuation is determined specifically by how much someone is willing to pay for it at any point in time. And on day one, the value of your company is going to be the $1 million because you have $1 million in the bank. On day 100, it's a lot different story, right? Because it could be you have $800K in the bank and you've spent $200K on a website, but the website's actually only worth like $100K. So maybe now the valuation is $900K, or maybe it's worth a lot. It's taken off, and now your valuation higher. But essentially, the valuation can only be set by the dollar amount at the start. That's the baseline, and it can change and fluctuate based on what someone's willing to pay. I mean, but yeah.
Okay. Drew?
Why are you laughing?
I don't know. I'm just...
Listen, this all, I think, kind of
Well, because
started...
he just thinks that the $1 million is going to fund whatever, and he can fund $1 million, and that's why it's not worth whatever chunk of the business that he's giving.
Just a 30% chunk for $1 million. That's such a huge chunk to give
You're
away.
doing a $3.3 million company just by your name being attached to it.
I have a decently big name.
Actually, that's the real thing.
Like,
So
not
you're
to jerk
saying-
myself off, but like the hardest
No,
part
no,
about
no,
getting
I'm not
any
saying- Yeah, no, that's fine to say that your valuation of yourself is different, but to say that a company with no IP, no whatever, the only thing you're adding your name on in the principal is worth more than $3 million. That's fine. That's fair to say, but
You can value things as you would want to, but for me personally, if I was to
Sure.
start a business, I would not want to start, if I'm throwing a lot of my time and effort and leveraging connections and everything into running a business, I personally wouldn't want to give away a third of that business right off the bat for $1 million.
sure.
Because like,
Sure,
let's
but
say
would
for
you
instance,
give away
that business
10%?
grows into something that's, we'll say in 5 years, it explodes and it's worth like 10 or $15 million. I've lost 1/3 of that equity because I needed $1 million in the beginning.
Sure, but let's say you needed more money to start. Maybe you needed $10 million, or maybe you want
Sure,
to give
if I
away less.
needed
Maybe you
money
wanna
to
give away
start.
10%.
Sure.
Would you give away 10% for $1 million?
10% for $1 million early on, it depends maybe, but more likely, yeah. 10% is way less than 30%.
Oh, well, I guess the real question is, what do you value this media company right now?
What do you value your name being attached to a media company?
No.
If I was launching
He's
a new
gonna
media company.
hold on, Rich Pope. You want to start a media company, and you're going to do it eventually. What do you value that right now today?
Today is nothing. I don't even know 100%.
Okay, let's say you're going to start tomorrow. You're going to start figuring it out, putting some, Google Docs together. What's that? And you've registered the LLC. What's the valuation of that if Dan comes, or not even Dan, let's say Dan's neighbor comes to you and is like, hey, man, I want to give you whatever money you want. What do you think is a fair valuation? I can give you 100K. I can give you 5 million, 20 million. Or I can give you 20K. Up to you. How much of the company you want to give me for how much? What do you think would be?
So if
realistic?
I were to start the business right now, like
right now,
like tomorrow,
yep.
It's like what do they call it? Data with wide tails? I don't know, dude. I'm not sure. Like you're saying, the problem is that here's the issue. Okay, I don't know. I can fund everything that I need to in the beginning, so I don't need to raise funding. So it's hard for me to think of like how much equity would I give away to get money that I don't need. That's
well, it's about the idea of you having zero personal financial risk. Let's assume this thing could.
Yeah, but like up to like 250K, I would probably want to assume 100% financial risk because the payoff is potentially huge.
No, let's step back. Let's say that you didn't have any money and you were trying to raise from people, right? And you needed to go out and raise money to start this.
Oh, that's a way different.
Why should your audience? Yeah, why should your audience not be able to participate in that raise?
This is like a 12 times different question.
Yeah, I think that is different from what we're saying right here. I'm just trying to get an idea of the valuation. So to you, if we can assume, hold on. If we can assume that
here's my general brain where I'm at. Okay, if I personally, Stephen Von Destiny, where I'm at in my life right now, if I was starting a company, and you can tell me why I'm wrong, I don't know why for $1 million or less, I feel like I would always want to debt fund versus equity fund it. That's what I.
Okay, so in my opinion, I don't think you could get debt to do that.
Why not?
I don't think, because I think you would be a tremendous risk. You would have to sign personally to get that.
Well, yeah, of course, sure, yeah, I would secure it with my own finances.
So the reason that you wouldn't do that is the same reason I think that you wouldn't do it yourself, is because most businesses fail, right? And when you assume that most businesses fail, you are taking a huge gamble. So instead of, let's just say that you could give yourself a $10 million valuation or whatever it is, instead of you taking half of your net worth, like 500K, and dumping it into this company just to save that 10%, instead you would just go say, fuck it, you can have 10%, and I have no risk. If this thing fails, I still have all of my money. But to you think it's better to be so greedy that you keep that 10% in lieu of losing half of your net worth. That's why you would do this. It's insurance, essentially, on
I don't know if I'm already
life.
an incredibly successful online business entity. I don't know if
you could lose half your money. You could lose half your money if we assume that it would take $500,000 to start this company. To hire the people.
If you stack enough hypotheticals, you can break my mind such that I'll agree with you. But I don't need to spend
$500,000. One hypothetical, 500K. That's it. The one hypothetical.
That hypothetical is unbelievable. I can't imagine that I need to pour $500,000 into something to get it off the ground. I could fucking start a media company with WordPress right now if I needed to, and I could hire 3 writers for probably $500 a month. So the idea that I need to dump
that's not a media company. That's a fucking blog that talks about cats. Okay?
What do you think a news site is?
No,
it's
the reporters that go to fucking like the Senate and shit like that, not fucking doing Twitch streams.
The MVP for dude, how many people are writing fucking Substacks that are generating more clicks right now than on some days CNN? Of course you can get companies like that off the ground. The content is so much more important than the infrastructure around it. If you have really good, it's like entertainment on YouTube. Or like Tyler One has a shitty microphone and a shitty webcam, and the guy pulls 20, 30,000 viewers a day. Why? It's because of his content. It's not because he invested a fuck ton of money into a whole bunch of superfluous fucking flowery shit to surround shit. So if you had really, sure, I'm just saying that the MVP for a media company isn't $500,000. It's probably like $5,000 a month, if that, right? There's products that I can get off the ground that wouldn't require a $500,000 startup investment that I'd probably want to test on smaller investments first before I go all in on it, of course.
I guess I just feel like there's some very insane. I mean, I guess this should make sense for me. You own your car outright and you have no insurance. Or sorry, you only have liability on it, correct?
True, yeah.
I feel like there's something actually mentally deficient with you. And I think that's why we're going back here, is that you have no understanding of what insurance is for. So I can't wait until some fucking dude in like a 1988 fucking Camry smashes into your shit and they have a 5K deductible. That is.
Well, let's see. Hold on. Actually, let's do the math right now. Okay, I pay $40 a month for my insurance. I want to say it was $250 a month for full coverage. Does that sound right on a $40,000 car? So
Sounds about right.
I think so. If I would have been paying $200 a month times, it's a 2017, 2016 car. I've had it for what? So I've had that car for what, 5 or 6 years?
Mm-hmm.
So we'll say times 6 years times 12. So I've already saved $14,500 on insurance.
Mm-hmm. And what's your car worth right now?
Well, minus the odds of you getting in an accident over that period of time.
Well, I haven't, so.
Well, just because you haven't doesn't mean it's not a thing. That's
definitely
literally
coming.
why insurance happens.
The way you drive, for sure, that's coming.
Maybe not. No, well, hold on. I'm 33 years old. I've driven more than most people. I've never been in an accident where I've been at fault or even gotten hit by anybody else in my life. I mean, I guess it's possible, but that's 15 grand that I have right now.
That's the average?
Wait, it doesn't matter if you're at fault.
I'm not the average. I'm above average in everything I do.
It doesn't matter because some dipshit without insurance smashes into you.
That's why I have a high performance car. I'm looking at all angles at all points of time. If people try to crash into me, I dodge it.
All right, you motherfucker.
Find me,
Okay.
Dan. Find me. Come down here, Western Brickell. Try to crash into me. I want you to stalk my car.
I'll get you at a stop sign. I'll get
Do
you at a
it.
stop
Yeah,
sign
do
when
it.
you're stopped.
I see. When I see people approaching me at a stop sign, I'll gash it. I'll get out of the way, Dan. I
And
dodge
then you'll
them.
smash into someone, and
I
then you
won't
will be
smash
at
into them.
fault. You
I keep
will.
enough space in front of me at all points in time so I can dodge cars recklessly coming from behind.
Thank
I'm
you.
checking all my mirrors, all my corners
I'm gonna
constantly, Dan.
tell you.
I always have enough space to escape. I can get out of anything, Dan. Try to fucking
No.
find me. Crash into me. I'll fucking dodge every time, Dan.
I will get
Come and
you
find
when
me.
there's a car in front of you and behind you. You're in the McDonald's fucking line. I'm gonna come from above, literally on top of you. You will
Well,
not
Dan,
check above you.
Find
I will
me.
fucking
Just
take
find
a
me.
ramp.
Find me, Dan.
Just hit him in his parking lot and then just drive away.
Oh, that's right. I'm gonna get you when you're not even in the car. What
I'm in
now,
a garage.
motherfucker?
It's got security on the outside. You can't get in without a fucking pay thing.
You got nothing. I'm gonna. You have to sleep sometime, motherfucker. I'm watching for when the stream is on. First off, I'm gonna check. I'm gonna see if you're there and be like, hey, Destiny, what's up? And if you respond to me, I'm going out there and smashing into that fucking thing with a semi. Boom.
All right, well, if I see a semi trying to get in my parking garage, okay, I'll concede to you, okay?
Okay. But anyways, I think that's just you're just insane. You have no idea of insurance. It's like, oh, I can easily spend 200K. Why would I give up 1% of my company for 200K when I could just do it myself? Oh, that's kind of like an insurance thing. Personally, I would do that, but I understand that you're insane.
Now we're talking 10% for 2 million, whereas before
It's
Dan was
all-
saying
it's all
30%
numbers.
for
You-
1
you-
million.
You
Yeah, it
won't
is all
even give me
numbers.
any of them. All right, so where
It's
is
all
it? Where's the
numbers, of
line?
course
I
it's all
asked
numbers.
You stupid fuck. Give
No,
me the number. What your
obvious. If
imaginary
somebody says, I wanna-
non-existent Google Doc is worth. What is it?
You are so fucking retarded. Of
No,
course
you-
it's all
no,
numbers,
no,
Dan.
you- no,
Dan, if you would
you.
ask me, if somebody wanted to buy 1% equity in your company for $1 billion, would you do it? Obviously, the answer is fucking
All right,
yes.
so what's the fucking number you degenerate?
I don't know what the number would be, but 30% at 1 million, I'd wipe my ass with that cash, Dan. I would just fuck your mom 500,000 times with $1 million, okay?
I'm gonna tell her. I'm telling her you said that.
Do it,
Let's say
good.
we have your number. Let's say we have your number in your head for what amount you want to give away for whatever amount of money. Why does chat not have a right to participate in that sale, and why can only Dan do it because he's accredited?
Well, the right
When chat
would have
knows-
to do with the fact that they probably don't know enough whether or not they should invest in it, right? Like, I could probably...
I mean, they know more the fuck about you than some random investor. That
It's
you're gonna
because
be pulling
I
up
know
to.
Steven has a high likelihood of scamming me. Chat is oblivious.
Yeah,
and
I
they
could
think
I
he's
could
gonna do the right thing.
crowdfund off of my just chat and scam the fuck out of all of them, and they're too stupid to even know what's going on. Look how many people invested in
but you-
Ice Poseidon and
but you can't.
rug pull coin.
Well, because that's not a security. They're not gated by the
Well,
same
isn't
things,
that what
or
the
well, they are by
FE or the
security.
SEC is starting to change?
Oh, I
Sorry,
mean,
whoops.
surely in the next 10 or 15 years, I'm sure that they'll do it. I mean, they're just now starting to charge like 2017, explicit scam coins and not things that are investment contracts. So I'm sure we'll get clarity in the next decade. But you can't do that for your startup business.
Interesting.
It really makes me think. All I know is the more that I hang around you, the more I have to realize that you're broken. Okay, and you know some of the. I'm not going to talk about them now. But you know, what are we watching? I don't know.
That's the DBZ thing. Sorry, you were about to rant at me because I care about numbers.
Okay.
I can't believe you. You think I'm a street whore, Dan?
$1 million for a Google Doc. Okay,
A street whore, 30% equity, 30%.
All right, what about if it was 10 million?
I'd Yeah, I definitely consider that for sure.
All right, well, that's still 30%, you stupid fuck.
Yeah, but at 10 million, you're giving me a $30 million valuation on a company, not $3 million.
Yeah, but it could be worth 8 figures someday, 10 figures.
That's
and
fine.
30%
Okay,
is
you're already
mine.
valuing it at
Okay,
8
it's gonna
figures.
be
If it's
fine.
$10 million,
you
Dan, $10
stupid
million
stupid.
at 30% is already valuation of like $33 million
Yeah,
for
I
the
said
company.
10 it's the next Facebook, okay? It's the biggest company ever coming. And you gave up 30% like a fucking idiot. What were you thinking?
Well,
That was
30%,
nothing.
10 million? You believe in me at least. $10 million? Yeah, I definitely, yeah, probably. I'd probably go
Oh
with that.
my.
I'd probably just
Oh
do that,
my
yeah.
God.
And then I try to buy you back, you know, a year in or something, but yeah, if it's going well.
Uh,
You don't
God,
think there's
that-
a big, hold on, I just want to point out how fucking stupid it is. You don't think there's a difference between somebody coming up to me and offering me Destiny, I'm going to buy 30% of your future business for 1 million versus 10 million? You don't think the order of magnitude difference there is going to be a huge factor in whether or not I accept that offer?
All right, so here's all the pieces to it. There is a high likelihood of this not being as big as you think.
Sure.
Would you agree with that?
Yeah, it's possible.
I would say that most odds this will not be an 8-figure company.
Maybe.
Agree or disagree? No, maybe is not the answer. It's a number time, motherfucker.
I don't know when in the position
I
that
know
I
you
started.
don't know.
Dan,
What do
I
you
might
think
be
the
on
chances
Joe
are?
Rogan in 2 months, okay, sipping back Hennessy. What's the name of it? Fuck, there's a Hennessy?
Hennessy?
Fuck, yeah, that.
Cognac?
Yeah, cognac. A mixture, a hybrid between the two that Joe Rogan has created just for me and Jordan Peterson to sip on. Okay, I might have special talent, Dan, in the DMT dimension when me and Joe go smoke that you don't even know about. Okay, so at that point, yeah, I'm gonna value my
This
chances
is
really high.
not fair because you won't give a fucking number. You can't say, well, I don't know.
I already
well, yeah,
said
no
10
shit.
million, 30%. I'd consider
He's
it.
a gambler.
No,
He's a
that's not what
gambler.
I'm saying. What
No,
I'm
Dan, he's a
asking
gambler.
you,
He has his lotto
stupid
ticket.
fuck. I'm
I
I don't
asking you-
gamble. I'm investing in myself. It's not
No,
That's,
gamble.
you're literally
I'm-
gambling.
I understand that you don't know if you'll be on Rogan. You don't know if you'll get married to fucking Joe Biden. Okay, you literally don't know. But what I'm asking you is, what do you think out of 100 odds? Okay, what do you think out of that 100 odds that in 1 year from now, if you started the media company today, that company would be worth 8 figures?
The problem is that it's the investment that I make is going to be conditional on the success of the company. If I'm investing $500,000 in that company, then the chances
Yeah,
that
let's
it's
say
going to
you-
go
yeah, let's
big
say you
are
did it.
really
It'd be
high
great if it
because
was
I'm not
unconditional
investing
investment, wouldn't
$500,000 in some failing shit. It'd probably be a way lower investment. I'd probably cut it off at like fucking $50,000 or something if shit was like fucked and wasn't doing anything.
Okay, do you think there is any chance that if you spent 50K and it was going to fail, that it may have succeeded if you had $1 million?
No.
Really?
Yep.
No. Just no.
Correct. No. Exactly.
You're,
Yes, true.
you're a dumb fuck.
I have
You're a dumb
access to
fuck.
so much money. I can get money if I need to. I can debt finance if I need to. I can probably beg people like you for equity if I need
Yeah,
to.
but if it's not
Yeah, but-
working at 50K, you might be fuck it. I don't want to borrow money against my shit. It's not working.
I'll be
I don't
able to
wanna bother
tell if
Dan.
it's an absolute fucking failure at 50K. It's not like, damn, if I just had $1 million, I could
What
turn
about
this
if
whole
it's
shit
not an
around.
Absolute failure.
The
What about if
mixer
it's just
model.
A little
Oh
failure?
my
What
God.
about if it's a little? You know,
What
you're
if you
just so
just put
fucking
in decent
stupid.
for, like,
You're dumb.
20
Mixer just needed another 50 million, and they could have done it, dude. They just needed a little bit more. Own just needed another 10 million infusion. They could have
Yeah,
done
they
it.
probably did,
They just needed
yes.
one more. Everybody's
Uber
just
for
one round
Twitter.
of funding away from their business failure being a fucking success.
God, you're just so dumb. How can I fix you? This is why the women like you so much. Because it's just that they look at you and they're like, he's so stupid. And if I
Dan
just
is
talk
coming
to him
out like
long
he
enough,
just
I can
fucking took
fix
the whole
him.
like
I
creativity
can
kit
fix
course,
him.
trying to give us fucking investment advice.
Oh,
Jesus
my
Christ.
God, it's so. I want you to see.
This is a
I'm
real
trying to
war
bring
room
you.
energy, Dan.
I can fix you. I can do it, but I can't. You don't. Ah, God. It's just nothing can be done. It's just you're just delusional. Really. That's what
$1
the
million
end of the day.
is like that's a pretty cool amount of money. $10
That's
million.
like almost a guaranteed success.
No,
is what
it's-
it is.
you're-
With your name attached to it, it's almost a guaranteed
You're
success
so
if you work hard.
wrong.
If I wanted to start a media company tomorrow and just put your name on it and then pay you to be a consultant, a senior consultant, how much would that cost?
For how much would I charge somebody to be a senior consultant on a project like that? How much?
Yeah, Dan's media company.
What is
Yep,
the time
D-
investment you're
DMC.
asking for me? What does it mean? Do you
Okay,
want like a
let's say-
meeting
let's
like
say-
twice a month, or do you want
No,
like a daily
let's
fucking
say I want-
4
let's say I
hours a
want-
day,
Yeah.
4 hours
Four-
a day? You're
every day.
No, only on weekdays.
No, every day.
It's a big 6-figure contract. I don't know. I don't have to think, but it's gonna be a big. Yeah.
That's less the equity that they're giving you to buy into your media company.
Oh, you just got shut down.
And then I own all the equity.
No. Okay, hold on. What you just said was so stupid. You're trying to say that
No.
if I would make a big six-figure thing, being a consulting person to a company that is raising equity, that I might as well just fucking take the investment because that's what they're paying me. But the difference is if I don't have them doing the equity investment, then I would be earning 100% of the money from that company anyway. No, so you're not right. You didn't make a good point. You made no point.
What? No. I'm saying that if I'm paying you to do all the same things that you're doing for your own company, but I own all the equity, you're taking less money than if I just gave you the $1 million up front for 30%.
Yeah,
But I would never take the million upfront for 30% because if I'm the one that has 100% of equity in my business, I'm earning 100% of the revenue. Why would I give up 30% of all the future revenues to take a big six-figure paycheck when I can just earn 100% of the revenue and keep all the money that's generated instead of like risking the business? Like the only time your model makes sense is if the business fails completely, then I've managed to suck some of the fucking equity out of that company in the form of a private compensation to me, and then the investor loses out and the company goes
I'm sorry, I've changed my mind. The accredited investor limit needs to go up to beyond whatever Steve's net worth is to higher than that so that he cannot do it
You're
anymore.
so
I'm sorry.
okay.
You're-
What do I
it's
know? I
literally
didn't know
the
about it.
same
I didn't know
deal.
about anything. You're right. I'm just a fucking I'm a retard. I'm retarded, Dan. I'm retarded. I just
Hey,
need
good
$1
news,
million and we can make company work, Dan. I'm
Listen, I'm
retarded.
just saying, your
Destiny's
face
the
and
newest
name.
investor that we work, guy.
Yeah, I don't know what to say. You know what?
Just give me $1 million and stick my name in that one picture from the Wired article with my eyes looking up. Just put those things on it and give me the money, and it's guaranteed to work. Daily
wait,
Wire
we forgot.
2.0. Yeah.
We forgot. You're long on Meta. Gosh, you know, see, I forgot.
We don't know if I'm wrong on Meta. That's a 12-month
I
investment,
said you're
Dan.
long. You're
Oh,
long
I am long on Meta.
Yeah,
Yeah.
you are.
Yeah.
Real long until the next dimension.
It's coming back. You guys are just gonna be mad when Zuck figures out that VR. He's gonna get those legs working and kicking. There's gonna be toes wiggling on that fucking avatar, and you guys are gonna be like, "Oh shit!" And you're gonna watch that stock price shoot
Listen,
through the roof.
the only
It's
way
going
that
to
shit goes
he's
high,
going to the meta moon. Okay.
the only way that shit goes high is if it turns into the most immersive porn shit ever, and then I'll spend
Yeah,
all
it
day
might.
there.
You're gonna see fucking Zuckerberg, Meta, and fucking Pornhub announce a partnership, and you're gonna be like, "Oh no."
And I can't wait to share my Facebook profile at the same time.
True.
Why did? Oh god, you remember when fucking porn sites did that? They would have the Facebook share fucking icon. Like, what are you thinking? Who wants to do this? That I'm on the gee, just come on. Anyways,
All the OnlyFans girls, they were just ahead of their time.
yeah, it's it's a damn shame. It is what it is. Well, I feel like we've.
You just try to trigger the fuck.
No.
out of me. That's all you
Let's
care
go.
about.
Let's go back. So let's say.
No, you gotta know when to move on, Rage Pope. You gotta. That's a nice ending.
I just want him to answer
You're
the
just-
question. So
You're.
we found your number. We found your number, whatever that magic number is for equity and dollar amount. Why does Dan have the right to invest, but your audience doesn't have the right? Or let's just say some guy who has no idea what the fuck you do, some 90-year-old boomer who's got billions of dollars, isn't media savvy at all, doesn't know how to read. Why does he have the right to invest in you, but your audience can't?
Because he's earned the right to take a bigger risk, because that's what the government's decided.
So everything the government's decided is fine then.
You got yes, correct. Even when slavery was around, the government can make no bad decisions. Rage Pope, correct. Bring back internment camps from World War II. You're right. The government can make no wrong decisions. That's exactly what I just said. Yes. Great point. Yes.
You're saying the government's the one who did that, and they made that rule in the 1930s.
And I'm saying that I agree with the rule, not that everything the government does is necessarily correct.
Why do you agree with the rule? Well, then why do you agree with the
I
rule?
agree with the rule because poor people are too fucking stupid to make risky investments. They should be allowed to. It's just another way for them to lose their money. Here's what would happen in your world, Rage Pope. If people made that okay, that anybody can be an accredited investor, I'm going back to South Omaha right now. I'm gonna get a fucking bilingual translator, and I'm gonna fucking fundraise $500 from every poor fucking Mexican that lives in that neighborhood for my own fucking roofing business. I'm gonna work as a private consultant to that company. I'm gonna pay myself a $100,000 salary, and it's gonna go bankrupt in 6 months every single fucking time. And that's how I'm gonna make my living for the rest of my life. That's what would happen if your world was allowed to happen.
I don't think that's true at all. But...
Why not? How is that not true at all? Sorry, hold on. How is that not true at all?
Okay, so just because you're lowering the bar doesn't mean you have to let everybody participate. One. Two.
Oh, wait, so you're saying you'd lower the bar, but you'd still keep it? So you agree with the rule?
No,
We're just haggling over the fucking number? So does that mean you're okay when the government does everything then, Rage Pope? Isn't that what you said?
Yes, yeah, I am. And two, the second thing is what you can do is you can bar people from raising money for things that are clearly fraudulent, which is what it sounds like you're failing businesses.
Whoa, what would it be clear? I want to make a roofing company. How is that clearly fraudulent? We're gonna make a whole new department of the federal government to figure out what a fraudulent new business is that's raising money from poor investors.
That's what the SEC has done always for everything that's raised from everybody. So yeah, you would just expand the scope of their thing. And when you've created 20 failed businesses in a row, the same thing, and you're paying yourself, and you've never done anything tangible towards actually meeting a business, well then yeah, you can probably throw yourself in jail.
Oh, so I just need one successful business before I go and scam and defraud a whole bunch of poor people.
No, you need to continue to not scam and defraud poor people. If you continue to try to raise businesses over and over, sure, I don't see why they have any reason to be denied investing in your business if they have the appropriate knowledge of what you're doing in your history, sure.
I'm just looking in Discord. These fucking degenerates actually at you, huh? Steve, they're like, I know. I'm going to get Destiny to read my comment by adding him in Discord. At Destiny, tell Dan that you are making an informed decision about the lack of insurance on your car since you're calculating the depreciation. It's like, bro, what is this fucking move that you guys are trying to do? This is not a good look. Anyways. Can everyone real quick just at Destiny in Discord just with your actually never mind, don't do that.
Do you want me to
no,
counter that?
No, I remember last time and I stopped myself. Do not do that. Do
and there's
not.
a free Discord Nitro out there?
No, hold on. Settings, privacy, 1 sec. Hold up. Do not do that. Yep. Allow dead messages. No.
Destiny, you're doing the thing where you're not engaged with the hypothetical honestly. The point is not that you're selling 30% of the company for $1 million. It's that you can sell equity in the company with zero risk. If your company fails, you've lost no money. Hold on. What do you mean there's zero risk? There's zero risk if the company fails, but there's risk if the company succeeds, because then you've lost potential future earnings or future capital, right? Is gone, or equity. Of course, there's a risk either way.
Well, it's just asking what your risk premium is, and it sounds like you're willing to gamble on everything as opposed to taking any fixed payment now. And that other people shouldn't have the right to make the same decision.
No, we're talking about two fundamentally different things. But yeah, okay, it's okay.
No, it's just the buyer and seller of the same transaction is the difference between a security offerer and a purchaser.
Mm-hmm.
And so, if it's going to be mutually beneficial to both, why aren't people allowed to make that? I just fundamentally don't understand why they're allowed to do other things that are just as bad for them.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
So, yeah.
Gotcha. Any other thoughts, Dan, Rage Pope, on this topic?
I was looking for an iguana earlier.
What? Looking for like to buy one or?
Probably killing him on his.
Oh.
House.
Looking for an
to
iguana.
Buy one? No.
What, when you say looking for an iguana, I don't like. Can you not see it? Aren't they pretty fucking big?
No, they blend in. They're like elite, like jungle combat units. You can't see them.
Yeah.
Yeah.